Hello, there's a lot of catching up to do today, I'm afraid. We start with Nadine Dorries. Why not? And Nadine Dorries gave one of the loopiest interviews that she's given. But, it's, loopy really is the code for any sort of Nadine Dorries pronouncement. She started off by pointing out how Boris is a winner and how the Conservative Party was 19 points behind before Boris was elected, and why, now that the Conservative Party is, 30 points behind or more, that Boris can not only turn round the party's fortunes, but secure a sizable victory in 2 years' time. Now, of course, she is right that John Major had serious problems mid-term during his tenure and managed to turn things round after the economic crisis during his time and actually secure some sort of victory. Not a very impressive victory, but enough. Can Boris do that? Well, I suppose in principle Boris could, but Boris is soiled goods. Boris comes with a reputation which says that he is universally assumed to be, quote, unfit for office. That's pretty difficult to square that circle. Now, Rishi Sunak has come in for some interesting pillorying from Conservative membership. Now, remember, there's always been a suspicion that he didn't win against Liz Truss because he has an Indian background. It's fairly alarming stuff. Fairly potent racism. And of course, it was never explicitly pronounced or stated by anyone until one particular twit called Jerry turned up on LBC and announced that Rishi didn't stand a chance against Boris because Rishi isn't even British. Simply shocking that even somebody who claims to be a Johnson backer and then went on to say that he was a Tory party member and that his father had been the constituency party chairman. It just gets worse and worse. That his two children work in the city and he's prepared to stick by the racist pronouncement that Rishi is not even British. Rishi, of course, went to a senior British school. Rishi was born, I think, in Southampton. Rishi is as British as they come. And this man was going on that Rishi does not love his country as much as Boris. Well, the big difference between Rishi and Boris is, of course, Boris was actually born abroad. It's shocking. It's shocking. And I think when we hear somebody finally making that sort of racist pronouncement against Rishi Sunak, I think the cat is out of the bag. I think that sort of pronouncement, that sort of outing, will make people think twice in the Conservative Party membership before they vote impulsively against Rishi. Momentum is clearly moving in his direction. There is talk of brokering a deal with Boris, but it seems to be Boris's group who are trying to broker that deal. And more than that, although Boris's group claim that they've already got the 100 nominations in order to stand, it's Boris's group who are ringing up people within Rishi's group, within Penny Mordaunt's group, to encourage them to change sides. Why would they bother doing that if they've already got over the mark? It doesn't make any sense. So my hunch is that Boris's group have not quite done as well as they should have done. I say this cautiously because I don't want to give them too much encouragement. I really think that Boris, as a prime ministerial candidate, is probably one of the worst things that the Conservative Party can do at the moment. Probably one of the worst things it can do. And I think the people who are voting for Boris at the moment, some of whom I know, and some of whom I expected to be behaving in a sort of more grown-up way, I'm really shocked. I'm really shocked that this is even being considered, let alone that it might, in some strange alternate reality, become true. Now, senior donors, I gather, are already leaning towards Rishi Sunak, and the momentum is going in his direction. That is certainly what we're hearing. And I think those donors and those Conservative bigwigs who admire Boris, and many do, and with good reason, because of course he has a reputation for being a winner, would say to him, now is not the time. Now is the time to take a back seat, maybe in a new government. Maybe take a seat as, honorary vice prime minister. He can certainly do the vice bit. And, or indeed foreign secretary. There's a lot Boris could bring to the table, but a new Boris premiership would be a major mistake, and even thinking about it, I think, is something that possibly has rocked the boat beyond stability, beyond basic stability. I'm personally appalled.